Don't. Hey, what's up, my beautiful people? How y'all doing today? I hope everything's doing all right. I know I'm doing good today. I hope y'all are doing good today. So y'all already know we coming back for another live day trade recap. Here to feed y'all some knowledge, here to put y'all on some game, and I want y'all to put me on some game as well. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? All right. Y'all know the deal. Let me pull this up. Let me make sure everything's running a-okay. Okay, give me a second. Make sure everything's running. Okay. Okay. Stay with my beautiful people. I'm trying to make sure everything running all right. Okay, so we're gonna go over another day trade recap. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, I didn't trade today, but I still have some things to show y'all because of what happened in the market and because I gave y'all my bias this morning and what I wanted to see going into the markets if I was going to trade today. And that actually turned out really good. And so that's where I stepped back and see, this is what you need to do, or this is what I do, and this is what I recommend, and this is what I've learned from other successful traders as well, is whenever you're not doing as well and you have setbacks in your trading, step back and just analyze the market. And because you will have losses that will make you think back to yourself, like, do I even know what I'm doing? Do I even know what trading is? You know what I'm saying? Because you will go through losing $400. You will go through losing periods and losing stretches that'll make you really question everything you know. Like, do I even know what I'm talking about? And that's why you just need to step back and go over the charts, look at things, and then just try to basically trade in your mind. You know what I'm saying? So whenever you see a setup, be like, boom, I placed a trade. You didn't actually place a trade, but in your mind, boom, I'm in that trade. You know what I'm saying? And see where it rides out. Have your stop loss and everything, just like you're actually in the trade, but it's all mental. You know what I'm saying? And so that's kind of what I was doing today. So I gave y'all my bias. I posted early morning what I would want to see. I did it before the market opens, so y'all can see what I was looking for. And so after the market closed and at the end of the day, I could come on to the stream and show you guys ultimately what happened and stuff like that. Okay, so I want to open my, let me see, stay with me, my good people. Everything running all right? Everything running all right? I hope so. Man, I'm feeling good. I hope everything is running right, and I hope y'all are feeling good as well. I'm about to pull up my post from earlier so we could look at these. Okay. Okay. So let me share my screen. And let me know in the comment section if y'all took any trades today, okay? Because I want to know about y'all's trades too. I don't want y'all just knowing about my trades. I want to know about y'all's trades as well, okay? Oh. Sorry about that. Stay with my good people. Okay. So what did I say coming into the markets? Excuse me, man. Just drank my protein shake. Okay, so what did I want to see into the markets? Let me go down. Okay. So my first post in the morning was I wanted to go over what I was looking for going into tomorrow. Okay, so this was last night. Sorry about that. So what I said last night was if we opened at our 549 level, because as we went over, we know market dropped $20 to start, right? Well, from that 565 area where it got wicked at, so around 564, and it was at 549 last night, overnight markets, right? So it was at 549 whenever I posted this, okay? So I said, if we open market at our 549 level, I will be cautious of a bounce because that is a level of support, okay? Because we know support, that's where our buyers are at, right? I said, but if we break, I want to see a retest, making that support into a resistance, ultimately making lower highs and lower lows. Give me a retracement to my fair value gap or order block, and I'm writing it down to my next support, which is 547. Okay. And this next part right here is very important. Remember, we go over technicals to potentially see what price can do, but we always want to wait for our confirmation. Okay. Confirmation, we always want our confirmation. So just because we see price itching towards our support or resistance, we don't just hop in. Okay. We want to see a confirmation. We want to see a bounce off of that and ultimately start creating a trend. Okay. So we see price coming down to our support. We don't just hop in at that support. We want to see price bounce off of that support, meaning buyers are coming in. We want to see a bounce off of that support, and then ultimately giving a change of character, taking out your last lower high, right? Our last lower high, because when we're in a downtrend, we're getting lower highs and lower lows. So we want to ultimately see a bounce off of that support, giving a change of character, and then ultimately changing trend, creating higher highs and higher lows, okay? That is our confirmation, so we can get in for a buy, right? If we want to get in at our support. So that's basically what I was saying, is I wanted to see price react off of that support, changing trend and start to go up, or I wanted to see price break that support and then test that support, meaning giving a retracement after breaking that support, and then ultimately creating lower highs, lower lows. So I know that price wants to continue dropping. Okay. And then so this morning, what did we have? This morning, pre-markets, we had price at 544, right? And so all I did in this second post was I wanted to take out all the lines. You see this 549 and 547 levels of support. Price dropped below those. And so basically I just removed those for y'all so I didn't have too much lines. But ultimately, what did we want to see? Because we dropped below our 547, right? We dropped below our 547 wick. What would we want to see? Okay, prices between a supply area, which is a support, another support. Prices between another area of support, which is at our 542, right? But it's also ultimately it's above my 542 support, right? But it's ultimately dropped below my 547 support. Okay, so it's below my 547 support, but it's also above my 542 support, right? So what did we want to see? We would want to see price give me a retracement coming up to my 547 support, making that a resistance, meaning when I see price coming up, touching that area of previous support, which is now, I want to see it turn to resistance. I want to see it retrace up, give me a strong wick, and then ultimately shooting back down, giving that change of character, because we would have had to create higher highs, higher lows, right? In order to get up to our 547 support, right? We would have to see higher highs, higher lows, because ultimately to go up, we would need a trend up, right? So after we see them higher highs, higher lows, we would want to see price react off of that support, making it a resistance, giving a change of character, taking out my last swing, which my last swing is my last higher low. Okay. And so that's what we wanted to see. We wanted to see price react off of that support, making it a resistance before ultimately giving a change of character and continuing a downtrend down to this possible area that can hold up, which is 542. Okay. And so I'm gonna draw this out for you real quick. I'm gonna draw this out for you real quick, okay? But let me read what I said about this picture right here, okay? I said pre-market's down over $20 to start the morning, nearing support, okay? Remember, I said this before market open so y'all can get the gist of what I was looking for going into the markets, okay? And I didn't ultimately trade today, but I'm gonna show y'all if I was gonna trade, my technicals would have helped me be able to profit. You see what I'm saying? And so that's why you want to know these areas of support and resistance, so you can know possible areas where you can have the bounces come and ultimately ride your trend to get your higher highs, higher lows, or your lower highs, lower lows, and to ultimately profit from your options. Okay. And so I'm gonna draw all this out for you so you can understand it. Okay. But let me see what I said real quick. Pre-market down over $20 to start the morning, nearing support, right? Which meaning pre-market's down over $20. It closed at 564. It opened up. Pre-markets before coming in today, it was at 544, right? So that's $20 down from yesterday's close till the morning's pre-market. So the pre-market is basically right before open, okay? So down $20. I said, will we get a bounce or a breakthrough further down? Basically reiterating what I said. Will we get a bounce, creating higher highs, higher lows, ultimately starting the trend up, which we wouldn't have been mad about because we know what? This 544 drop all the way down here, we left a big old gap, right? Because remember, we dropped down, and what do we do to the gaps? We fill the gaps, right? And so that would have been if I would have seen price react off of that and give higher highs, higher lows, that would have been a good solid entry to react off of my order block or fair value gap to write it up and fill that gap, because we know price is going to fill the gaps, right? But and then I also said, or a breakthrough further down, meaning will we break that support, test that support, making a resistance, and then we can fall down to this other area, which is 539. Okay. And so that's what I was looking at coming into the market. Okay. Now let me transfer y'all to the actual chart. Excuse me. I know I gave you a black screen. Sorry about that. Okay. Okay, let me zoom out right here. I'm going to zoom out into my 15-minute. So you see this gap right here. So yesterday close of market, which is at 3 o'clock, we closed at 564. To open the market, we started at 544, right? And so do you see this big gap right here? This is a big old gap. You see that? And so we wouldn't have minded if we seen a bounce, if we seen price open at 544, immediately drop down and bounce, taking out a lower high, and then which giving a change of character, taking out the lower high before ultimately filling this. We wouldn't have been mad about that, right? And so why did price actually give this big old gap, $20 down? We're saying, man, Devin, why is the price dropping like this? Well, we know tariffs, okay? Trump came out with tariffs to the market, okay? And we know the market doesn't like that, okay? So that is why we have these heavy sell-offs, and the tariffs got put into place yesterday, and so that's why we ultimately had this huge drop, okay? And so what did we do to open the market? Well, we did exactly what technicals should have done. I'm not going to say exactly what I said, but exactly what the technicals showed, and exactly what history shows and patterns show about support and resistance and fair value gaps and order blocks. Because remember, all these things, they aren't just shooting from the hip. You're not just shooting from the hip with these strategies. These are strategies that ultimately, over a period of time, like you can go back from 2012, I'm just throwing out a period from long ago, and you'll see price still continue to react off of these order blocks, fair value gaps, touching these resistance areas, hitting an area, dropping down, trying to come up again, drop down, hitting a support. So ultimately, you know what I'm saying? All these things are legitimate things: support and resistance, fair value gaps, and order blocks. So what did price do to open the market? Did exactly what we called. Okay, so y'all know we called for, if we seen price open up, we seen price open at 544. What did I say? We wanted to see price. We seen price open up. Excuse me. We seen price open up in between a 542 area of support, right? But ultimately under support of 547. So what did we want to see? We want to see 547 act as a resistance now because we dropped under it. Okay. So what did we get? Price opened up at 544. Let me come down into my smaller time frame just so y'all can see, like, basically literally everything that's happening candle by candle. Let me zoom out. Let me get it better. Let me get it zoomed in where y'all can see it. Okay. So what did we get? Okay, let me zoom in a little bit more for y'all so we can make sure we can see everything. Okay. What did we get? We got price open up, got a big old candle. Then we got a retracement, which we want to see, right? If we're going up, we got the retracement into our strength candle before bouncing up, hitting this area of support. Yes, it broke through a little bit, but hitting this area of support before breaking down, right? Which means sellers are stepping in to defend that area, right? What did we do? We came down, but we didn't break our last retracement, right? Because this isn't a full trend yet, right? But it did. But actually, I'm sorry, this is actual trend, starting a trend, right? Because we got a up, we came and got a retracement into this strength candle, right? Before ultimately breaking up, creating a new high, right? Before sellers defending that area of support, making it a resistance. Okay, but we don't know it's a resistance yet because it didn't break our last swing, our last higher low, right? We didn't see it break our last higher low, so we don't hop in yet because it hasn't changed trend, right? Sorry, I keep looking over because I'm just trying to make sure everything is going right on live stream. I don't want it to cut out on me. Okay, and so what happened? Price bounced back up, but what did it do? Ultimately got sold back down. You see this big red candle? This is an engulfing candle. Y'all hear me say it a lot, but then I was like, okay, no, this isn't an actual engulfing candle. But now I can actually show y'all. Let me zoom in a little bit more. This is an engulfing candle. What is an engulfing candle? When you have two or more candles moving to the upside or to the downside, but then you see one big candle come and basically erase that whole move. You see what I'm saying? So we had these three candles trying to trend up, right? Before giving this big engulfing red candle, right? Taking out these two candles and actually closing solid. Closing solid, y'all know that's a big strength candle. Those are strong. You're not seeing no buyers on the bottom of this candle because you don't see no wick. You get what I'm saying? You don't see no wick at the bottom of this, so that means no buyers bought this up. That means in this 1 minute, sellers had full control. Okay, so but still, This is a good sign because what is this? This is actually a double top. What is a double top? Price broke up, got shot back down. It tried to break back up, but it got stopped. It got pushed back down at that same level, creating this double top. So that is actually a good sign to get in at a resistance area. But for me to feel safe, I want to see an actual higher low get taken out and give me a change of character before actually retracing so I can get in, okay? And so what happened? We had this big strength candle down, right? But not changing trend yet, because where's our last higher low? Our last higher low is at this 546, right? We got this big strength candle, okay? That's a good sign to see. And this big strength candle broke under our support, making it a resistance. Then what did we see? Another candle come up, make this a resistance. Price break ultimately broke down. That's what we want to see. Price breaking down with these big candles, right? With these big candles, right? And keep in mind, you want, sorry, I'm just making sure it looked like it was messing up. Sorry. I'm real nervous about these lives messing up now. I think I got PTSD already from my lives cutting off on me. Okay. And so what are we seeing? Because we want, remember, we want price to match volume. Also, price match volume and momentum. What is price? Price is what we see on these charts right here, going up and down with these candles. Where is our volume? Our volume is down here. Okay, we see these candles down here, which is our volume. And what is momentum? Momentum is how fast these candles are going. So we see it struggling. So you see how price is breaking down right here, but you see it struggling up, struggling up, struggling up. But you see these red candles just boom, boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? These red candles are solid, but you're seeing these white candles struggling. You know what I'm saying? You see these white candles just getting smaller, and they're getting squeezed down to these doji candles, getting squeezed down, but you see these sellers just ultimately strength candle, strength candle, strength candle, strength candle. Okay, that is a good sign. What is also our confirmation sign? Our confirmation sign is price breaking our last higher low. Okay, that is exactly what we got. We got our price breaking our last higher low. Okay, so price broke our higher low, right? Before ultimately coming and testing our higher low, okay? And then it comes down, but it doesn't fully break this swing, right? So I still wouldn't have got in, right? Because you are still susceptible to be caught up in a range, okay? From 544 to 548, right? You're still susceptible to get caught up in a range, right? And so that's why on an uptrend, you want to actually see the trend start to actually move and create these higher highs and higher lows. On this piece, it's starting an uptrend, but you don't have complete legs. You just have one swing, one high. One high, a low, another high, but you want to see more confirmation than just one swing retracement and then another breakup. You know what I'm saying? So when we broke this higher low, okay, I'm looking at that like, oh yeah. I'm looking at that like, oh yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing. Also, I'm seeing these red strength candles with sellers starting to pick up, right? My seller volume is starting to pick up. I'm starting to get bigger candles. And what are my green doing? My green are starting to fall, right? My green are starting to fall. Green are starting to fall, right? But also, I'm seeing these big strength candles, okay? And so what did price do? It stopped right at the bottom of this strength candle, right? So I'm like, okay, it can be given a range, right? Before ultimately coming up and testing this support again, making it resistance. So look, we know it was a support. Now it's a resistance. So let's turn it red, okay? So we don't get confused, okay? And so once it did that, broke down, boom, 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 right? Breaking this whole potential range, right? And so once you see that, boom, I'm in, right? Boom, I'm in. Because look, it's touching this exactly what I wanted to see. It broke that. It broke my support, tested my support, made it resistance, breaking down, then ultimately breaking this potential range before breaking it and coming up and giving me my retracement. And I could have gotten at this wick right here, right? Why could I have gotten in at this wick? Because I'm just getting one, two, three hits at my resistance before dropping down, breaking breaking structure, giving a change of character. And then when we drop down, give a change of character, we got our retracement. Why would we more confirmation why we would want to get in? We got all those things, and then we know we have this support at the bottom, which we can run down to, right? So we could have got in right here at this 545 and wrote it down and looked for a potential bounce on this support, right? So once I see it break down, I want to see. So what do we want to see at these support levels to get in for a buy? We want to see a change of character. Okay, stay with me. We want to see a change of character at these supports so we know trend is chasing, right? So if I would have got in at this 545.60 area, I would have wrote it down till I see a change of character. Okay. Or honestly, there's no rules to when you take your profits. Okay. I want y'all to hear me on that. There is no rules on when to take profits. When you are in profit, meaning if I buy an option at $150 and this option is at $200, there is no rule saying I got to wait for it to come down to this price or I got to see it do this in order for me to take my profits. If you see you're in profit and you don't want to play with your profits, you know what I'm saying? Because the whole goal is to get in and profit and get out, right? Because we are scalpers. Okay, so if you're in and you see you're up money and maybe you're like, I'm not really comfortable. I'm seeing struggle, but I gotta wait for a change of character for me to get out. No, you don't. If you start to get uncomfortable, take your profits. There is no rules on when to take profits. Your profits are your profits. Do not play with your profits, okay? And I'm reiterating that because I've done that many of times. I even came on the stream on Monday when I lost $400, right? When I was up $200 and I seen price retracing against me, but I'm like, no, it can react off of this area. It passed that area. Oh, it can react off of this area. It passed that area. It passed up my stop loss. I'm like, oh, there's a gap behind. Oh, there's a gap on top of me. It can hit that gap and bounce down. No, take my profits. You see what I'm saying? So don't play with your profits. If you see price come against you and you're getting uncomfortable, take your profits. There is no rules on when to take profits, okay? I just want y'all to understand that because I'm pretty sure even you have gotten and been up maybe $100 or even $50 and you didn't take profit and price went against you, you end up losing money or ultimately breaking even, which meaning you didn't make money, okay? So take profits when you feel comfortable. Whenever you start to get uncomfortable in your trend, take your profits, okay? That is very important. That is probably the most important step because the same example on Monday, I wouldn't have lost $400. I would have been up money. And ultimately what would that have done? That would have built my confidence because I would have made money on Monday. Say if I still lost $50 on Tuesday, I still have my confidence and I'm still like, oh, okay, I'm good because I made $200 on Monday. So ultimately I'm still up $50 and I still could have traded today and had this home run of a move. I could have traded yesterday, had that home run of a move, and I could have traded tomorrow. Okay. Tomorrow, we'll see what tomorrow brings. I will go over my bias and everything with the same thing that I did yesterday. But ultimately, do you see what I'm saying? I would have had profits. I would have had my confidence, which, I would have had my confidence and I would have been able to roll that into bigger gains instead of missing out on these moves. But the way I see it, I'm not really missing out on these moves because I'm still watching, I'm still learning, I'm still studying, and I'm still getting better. Okay. Enjoy the process as much as you enjoy the results. Okay. That is very important. Enjoy the journey as much as you enjoy the results. If you enjoy the journey, the results will come. Okay. Do not rush the journey because the faster you try to rush the journey, the faster the results run away from you. You get what I'm saying? The better, the more you love the journey, the more the results attract to you. You get what I'm saying? Okay. So let's get back to this. So what did I want to see? I wanted to see price break down, give me my change of character, come back, give me my retracement. Okay, I'm in. Say I'm in at this 545. Wrote it down. I want to see a reaction off of this support. Why do I want to see that? So I know, okay, they're holding this area up. I might need to get out. Okay, bounce down, came up, bounced down, and I'm seeing the struggle, right? Before getting these big engulfing candles. So that is a good example of, I showed you an engulfing candle to the downside. Now I'm showing you an engulfing candle to the upside, okay? So y'all are seeing what these engulfing candles are. You see this? Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seller candles. You had an engulfing candle that took out all of those selling candles, okay? And so I would have got out. Once I seen it start engulfing all of these candles, I would have got out. Why? Because I seen struggle. I seen struggle down to my support for buyers defending it. Drop back down, but still struggling some more before I'm starting to get this big candle up. Okay. So I would have got out right there and you would have profited from that move. Why? That's from 545. Say you would have got out at the top of this candle, 545 to 543. That's a base hit. You can't be mad at that, right? But what did price do? And that's where you can't be mad at that. Why? Because price isn't going to always give you home runs. Okay. The market isn't going to always give you home runs. Okay. It did give a home run today, and I'm going to keep going further in. If you would have held it, obviously you would have had about probably, I think it was like a $10 drop. We're going to keep going over it. But it's ultimately, price isn't going to do that every single day. Okay. So you want to make sure to take your profits and not play with those profits. Okay. Okay. So I would have got out. Okay. $2 gain. But that doesn't mean you're done trading just because, you know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean you're done trading. And what did price do? It ultimately made this little area of 543 an area of resistance. Because look, we have one bounce. And actually, no, it's actually not 543. It's 540. You ultimately made 540. Yeah, 544. It's 543.92. We'll just call it 544. Okay. And so ultimately we see wick down before breaking, coming up, couldn't even get to it, breaking down, coming up, another wick to it, another wick, and then a breakdown. And that's why you have this other area of support, 539. So you're seeing why these areas of support are important. And you're saying, Devin, price dropped down there. And when it reacted up, you just put a line there and said, oh, I knew that was the area of support. Okay. Is that what I did? Or did I actually, I think on the post. Yeah, on the post, you actually see it. Yeah, on the post. I'm pull it back up. Oh no, you can't see it on the post because I have it zoomed in. Oh no, I do have it on the post. I'm gonna pull up the post again. So you're not just like Devin. Price came to that area and reacted off of it, and you just put a line right there. And then at the end of the day, you came on here and said, I knew price was going to react off of here. In reality, I had that already there, but I'm telling you now, I still don't know. I still don't know that price is going to react off of there, but I know price can potentially react off of there. Okay. So you're saying, Devin, you just put that line there after you've seen the reaction. Okay. So let me bring this up to show you I already had it marked off. Okay. And then ultimately I'm going to bring you to the graph or to the chart and show y'all why I had it there. Okay. I know I gave y'all a black screen. Stay with me. Stay with me. And if I'm talking too fast, I'm talking a little fast because I end up going over a lot in these streams, and these streams end up being 3,000 hours long. I'm exaggerating. They end up being like almost 2 hours long. And so I don't want to always have these streams too long because I want to also have y'all's attention. But then also I always have so much to just tell y'all and feed y'all that it ends up being long. Okay. And so look, y'all see on here, I already had my 539 area marked, right? I already had it there before market even opened. Before we even had that price drop, before we even had the reaction, I already had my 539 area marked. I already had my 542 area marked. And what else did I have? What else did I have? I have these resistance here. So this is proof I have my resistances here. Okay, so if price comes up next week and touches those and reacts down, y'all see my resistance. But also, what did I have? I had these 549 areas and this 547 areas of support. This 547 support turned to resistance. Okay. So now I want to back to the chart. With me, my beautiful people. I love all of y'all. I love everybody who's with me. We are all here to make money. Okay. But keep in mind, this journey is more than making money. Okay. We ultimately do this to make money. But ultimately, this is a journey and a process that you have to really dig deep, okay? This trading thing and trying to consistently profit. I'm not talking about, oh, one day I made $2,000. Oh, one day I made $200. I'm talking about consistently profitable, being able to pay your bills with this money, being able to take your family on vacations with this money, being able to come into the market day in, day out. You're going to have losses, okay? I'm not saying come in every day and make money. You're going to have a loss. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have losses, okay? It would be nice to money every single day. But even the most successful traders have losses, okay? It happens. You know what I'm saying? But ultimately, the goal is to become a consistently profitable trader where I can ultimately take my family on trips with this. I can enjoy life doing this, because what is this? I can take my computer anywhere. I can be sitting on the beach in Dubai, trading the markets when market opens at 8 o'clock. I can make $20,000 in that trade and ultimately pay for that whole Dubai trip. Okay. That's the whole goal. But ultimately, we can't lose sight of the journey and the process that we have to go through. Okay. It's more than just making money. It is about the process and the journey that you yourself and only yourself is going to have to go through and figure out to ultimately master these markets. Okay. So let's get back to the charts. Okay. So let me come back to the day so I can show y'all why I had that 539 there, just so y'all can have even more trust in me why I had my 539 area of support there. Because I can pull up my big daily time frame and show y'all why I had a 539 support. Whoa. So I'm pretty sure y'all can see it already as I'm moving over. Why I had that 539 area of support. Why did I have it? Well, this is where I had this breakup structure from. You see this big candle stopped right here. Price came, and that's why I have another one at this 542, because we see price come right here, stop. Price come down here, right here, stop. And what is this? Oh my goodness, this is a very bullish sign. When you see price react off of it, another candle that can't even get close to it, another candle that has a strong buyer, basically price dropped all the way down. Price, look at this candle right here. The candle opened up at 547 right here, right? Let me zoom in so y'all can see this. Price opened up. Okay, so price dropped down before tapping this 539, giving and stopping, right? Then we had our next candle stop at our 542, right? Which not too bullish, not too bearish. You had a good wick on both sides, okay? Not a doji candle, but just not